Hey guys, so I've been getting a lot of requests to do this video. I'm not particularly thrilled to do it, but since it's a topic that I apparently absolutely have to cover, otherwise I'm a hypocrite, here it is. Now, whenever I did the video on Elliot Rodger, I was frustrated, but I also said that there were other factors involved that they just didn't want to hear about, because of course, it's only because he hates women. They ignored every other factor that didn't personally suit their cause. They viewed it as, he did this because he hated women and that's it. And in another situation, it frustrates me to see a case like this where people jump on it and ignore something in particular because it doesn't necessarily make them feel good or suit their cause. That's why I made a video on Dylan Roof. When I see people going out of their way to either completely focus on or completely ignore an issue, I see a story and something worth me making a video on. My video on the Charleston shooting pissed off a lot of people because they felt that me saying racism in America is still a problem is the equivalent of saying all white people are racist. There's a small but very vocal group of people on the internet who are just up my ass about this last shooting because the shooter was black, and they're always so polite about it too. Hang on, I was expecting a video on the black racist guy who shot the journalists. No, you were all over the Dylan Roof story, weren't you? But no, of course you're not going to cover that story, are you? Wrong-colored perpetrator. You're a disgusting piece of shit, Jaclyn. He had issues with his co-workers, who happened to be white. He then shot them. He wrote complaints about white women and black men. He said that he was harassed for being gay. He complained about sexual harassment and bullying at work. I mean, this guy clearly had a victim complex. There was always something wrong. Whether or not these complaints were valid, I don't know. But regardless, he had a lot of reasons to be upset. Apparently the Charleston shooting was a tipping point for this guy to go on his shooting spree, but to me that still doesn't necessarily say that it was because of race. It's not like he went into a predominantly white country club and shot up a bunch of white people because white people are ruining this country. He shot people that he had problems with, personally. Just because the people that he knew, that he didn't like, happened to be white, doesn't mean that he killed them because they were white. And mental illness is also a thing that normally comes up in conversations like this. I mean, in my opinion, anyone who goes on a shooting spree has a few marbles loose. It also doesn't help their cause when they think that they are God, like Elliot Rodger, or if they think that God is telling them to do what they're doing. And like TJ said, I think a lot of people are looking at this guy and they're just desperate for him to be the black version of Dylan Roof. They want him to be so badly so they can point at him and be like, look, black people do it too. As though we somehow thought that white people were the only ones who committed crime. They feel it's appropriate to call me a disgusting piece of shit because they wanted a video on this topic. I just needed to do a video because it's only fair that I point out the wrongs a black person did too. Jesus, people, grow up. I still think racism is an issue. I never thought crime was limited to white people only. I'm not a proponent of white guilt, as so many people would like to think. And I think it's really childish and ridiculous that whenever a story comes up in the media that's actually a tragedy fueled by racism, that people feel the need to point their fingers elsewhere because they just can't accept the fact that racism might still be an issue because for some stupid reason they take it personally. I'm sorry, but a black guy shooting people that he worked with and knew and didn't like and had issues with that happened to be white is not the same as a white guy going into a black church and shooting up a bunch of people that he didn't know because they were black. I mean, if the story was reversed and a white guy shot a couple of co-workers that he didn't like and had issues with that happened to be black, but it doesn't matter. A lot of people are going to watch this video and ignore every point that I made and only think about two things. One, the shooter was black, and two, I'm a piece of shit. So there you have it. Here's your fucking video. I hope you're happy. Like it, whatever.